Hi Star Fam, welcome back to another general reading for the Star Fam Collective. Alright, let's get started. I hope everyone is doing well, that you've had a good day, that things are going well for you and as you walk your path, that your mission is unfolding in a unique and glorious way that has you curious and excited and patient and grounded and proud of yourself and humble, all those wonderful things. All right, God, what message do we need? I slow down and listen to the guidance that's available to me. I slow down and listen to the guidance that's available to me. Can we get one more, please, God? I trust that my powerful intentions combined with my faith are enough to allow my vision to become a reality. To allow my vision to become my reality. That's cool. So these two fell out. Earth Angel, I am a guardian of Mother Earth and protect all who live on her. And Forest Frolic Maiden, I acknowledge my inner child and open my heart to the joy she brings. I think that connecting to the earth, not just being earth angels, but going out and celebrating in nature with our mother does bring out the inner child. Sort of fairy, a nature spirit, Okay. What shall we do next? Why don't we get the gemstone card? Cobaltoan calcite. Are you in love? Are you craving health and feelings of well-being? Become a conduit for allowing heaven and earth to meet at your center. It is time to acknowledge the essence of the divine love in you. Take the time to nurture yourself. Imagine yourself in the arms of the Divine Mother. Archangel Jophiel, I activate and embrace divine love. My emotions are balanced. I am clear and joyful. I am compassionate, wise, and tolerant. The qualities of unconditional love, mercy, and understanding emanate from my being. Cobalto and calcite. Just making Jenga stacks of my boxes, my tarot card boxes. Just off camera, just doing some Jenga. The boxes. It's fun. So if you hear like a really loud crashing noise later, that's what that is. It's the boxes falling over. Okay, what messages does the collective need today? Harmony, playfulness, guidance, friendliness, it's weird, maturity, consciousness, all right, please clarify harmony, suppression reversed, no more suppression, one more please, mind, so harmony, so someone in the collective or someone in the collective, or someone the collective is dealing with, is learning lessons about harmony and to no longer suppress things that are happening in their mind. Sometimes when we have a lot going on, we're really busy, we have a difficult situation, the mind can get overactive. And there are two ways to deal with that. One is to look at it, listen to it, and piece by piece start to unravel some of those busy thoughts. And the other way is to not look at it, to look away from it, to keep busy and not think about it, or to actually suppress the thoughts. So almost like to be of two minds and tell yourself, you know, I'm thinking this thought, I'm not going to think that thought, but I'm thinking it, but I'm not going to think it, but I'm thinking it, but I'm not going to think it. But it's reversed. Suppression is reversed, so that's no longer happening. So harmony is beginning to happen because there's no more suppression of the mind or creating this kind of chaotic busyness in the mind. Overthinking is what I would call that. All right, playfulness. Please clarify playfulness. What does the collective need to know about playfulness? Oops. Tickets too. Aloneness. And slowing down. So the collective or someone in the collective may be finding their playfulness in being alone and slowing down. Maybe the aloneness has given the collective a chance to slow down. Or maybe the collective was experiencing aloneness which was causing them to slow down or to contemplate slowing down. I know I myself was looking at slow living earlier today. Just came up and I was curious and I looked into it. And I think it's just, a mindful, awareness based existence. So you can't control the pace of life all the time, but in your own time, in your off time, in your own time, you can control your own pace of life, and what you're focused on, right? How you're using your focus. So maybe the aloneness gave the collective or someone in the collective a chance to slow down, and that allowed them to sort of free up themselves to feel more playful and experience more playfulness in life. All right, let's clarify guidance. Whoa. We have sorrow, and we have going with the flow. So maybe the guidance the collective is receiving is to move out of sorrow, and go with the flow. Or to let go of sorrow in order to be able to go with the flow, because sometimes sorrow or grief can act as a block to forward movement. You can get stuck in those really dense, low vibrational emotions, and you don't want to do that. You can go experience them, but you don't want to get stuck down there. If you're going to get stuck, you want to get stuck in the high vibrations, the love and the joy and the enlightenment, right? All right, friendliness. Please clarify friendliness. Past lives and fighting. So what I'm getting from this is that the collective is ready to experience friendliness, make new friends, maybe new groups, meet new people, get out there and interact with people. I mean, it seems really silly to say something so simple, but just, get out there and interact with people. Friendliness. And move away from or let go of the past lives, the old karmas, the old contracts, things like that. Maybe because they involved fighting. So to get away from the fighting. I mean, if you look at this, the warrior is not actually fighting anyone. He's just really mad because he's thinking about or remembering a vision of a past fight. Although the people that he's seeing seem to be made out of smoke or clouds, so it could even be an imaginary fight that didn't take place or doesn't exist, but he's thinking about it, It's giving me that feeling of like when you and a friend grow apart and one of you or both of you thinks there's some kind of animosity from the other person, but there's not necessarily. Like maybe that person's just kind of busy or moved on. A lot of times people get a new job that keeps them busy, or they get in a new relationship that takes up all their time and attention, or they have children and they don't have a lot of spare time to socialize, things like that. But if you don't know and you're not checking in with each other and hearing sort of what's keeping each other busy, you could be thinking that it's because they hate you, or and it might not be that at all. So it could be an imaginary fight in someone's mind that needs to be moved away from, moved on from. I mean, all of the bottom ones are sort of giving me past energy, or like a transient energy that the collective is moving out of towards these more beautiful things on the top, right? Like we got harmony, playfulness, guidance, friendliness, maturity, and consciousness. That's pretty beautiful. All right, please clarify maturity. Intensity, thunderbolt. Yeah. So, as part of our maturity and our coming into our fullness, flowering our garden in the height of its season, right? The Empress and Emperor type of energy. We may have had to go through some intensity having to do with the ending of the old way, because it wasn't working. This is the Tower, equivalent to the Tower. So whatever was built up needs to be pulled down because it wasn't working. And even though the people involved may not have chosen that might have been the Tower is usually chosen by the universe. The universe usually brings the Tower, even though human beings can definitely bring towers to each other and can definitely influence a tower falling or being called to fall. Usually it is out of the human's hands when and how the tower falls. So I always think of it sort of as a God-led event. But yeah, so part of the maturity what might have helped mature the collective is going through these intense towers, these intense thunderbolt moments, whether we went through them directly or was just sort of associated with them as they were happening, like whether they hit us or they hit people near us or situations near us. Those old ways needed to be pulled down by the universe and God. They needed to be cleared out of the way so that we can move forward. But that doesn't mean that just because something happens that needs to happen doesn't make it easy, and it doesn't make it feel good to us. It can still be very difficult, and we can still feel a myriad of very bad feelings as we're going through it. But in the end, hopefully, it leads to inner growth, right? And healing, self-development, self-improvement, further self-discipline and willpower, better focus and clarity, and hopefully a life that's more aligned with what God wants for us, with the mission that we're here to work, with the path that we're meant to walk. It helps us clear away things that are in the way of us expressing our full self and being who we truly were meant to be. Okay, consciousness. Please clarify consciousness. Wow, this is just jumping right out. Okay. Comparison and schizophrenia reversed. What's the first? Oh no, suppression. Oh wow. Okay. So I'm sorry. It's just sometimes the combinations are so weird. So, in order to, step into our higher consciousness, to be that avatar version of ourselves, that enlightened Christ consciousness version of ourselves, that inner Buddha, right? We may have, or someone in the collective may have experienced comparison, so feeling different or wondering if you're as good as someone else, or comparing people, places, situations, things, ideas for the sake of knowing which is the best one, the greatest one, but this card teaches us that there is no comparison. Every single person is unique and different and created to be unique and different on purpose, because we have different missions, we have different functions, we have different reasons for being, we have different different things that we love and we dislike, and that we're strong and weak in, and that are part of our lives here on earth. This card, you know what, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read the meaning for this card. Okay. Comparison brings inferiority, superiority. When you don't compare, all inferiority, all superiority disappear. Then you are simply there. A small bush or a big high tree, it doesn't matter. You are yourself. You are needed. A grass leaf is needed as much as the biggest star. Without the grass leaf, God will be less than he is. This sound of the cuckoo is needed as much as any Buddha. The world will be less rich if this cuckoo disappears. Just look around. All is needed, and everything fits together. It is an organic unity. Nobody is higher and nobody is lower. Nobody is superior, nobody inferior. Everybody is incomparably unique. Whoever told you that the bamboo is more beautiful than the oak, or the oak more valuable than the bamboo? Do you think the oak wishes it had a hollow trunk like this bamboo? Does the bamboo feel jealous of the oak because it is bigger and its leaves change color in the fall? The very idea of the two trees comparing themselves to each other seems ridiculous, but we humans seem to find this habit very hard to break. Let's face it, there is always going to be somebody who is more beautiful, more talented, stronger, more intelligent, or apparently happier than you are. And conversely, there will always be those who are less than you in all these ways. The way to find out who you are is not by comparing yourself with others, but by looking to see whether you are fulfilling your own potential in the best way you know how. Yeah. I mean, you can't really say it any better than that, right? And then we have schizophrenia. That's why I needed to read it, because it's a concept that's so simple, right? We're all different, we're all unique, we're all special, we're all valuable, we're all needed. And you can't compare anybody with anybody else because we're made different on purpose. You know, it's like each of us is a beautiful, unique creation. And however we're strong, weak, good, bad, whatever, we're all, like, just as God made people who are gifted singers, God also made people who are not gifted singers. And he did all that, or the universe did all that, or the randomness of life did all that on purpose. Like, so there's no need to compare. And a comparison can't even really happen, honestly, because people are so different, right? But I think the plants is a good example, because it sort of takes away that whole cultural aspect of it, and you can just look at it and say, no, both are needed. They're different, but they're both needed. They're different, but they're both valuable, right? You don't have to be better than anyone else or less good than anyone else. You just have to be working on yourself to make yourself the best version of you that you can. And you'll never really achieve that. It's just a goal that you look towards, that motivates you, that you move towards, that you work towards, right? It's like how we're constantly learning every day of our life on earth. We're also constantly evolving and working on ourselves every day on earth. And the last card was schizophrenia, which is a difficulty making a choice, but also not being that connected to either choice, and fearing that if we choose wrong, we will fall and somehow be hurt or damage ourselves. It's really about not knowing what to choose, right? And feeling stressed out and worried because of that. But reversed, I think it means that we can let go. We can let go of indecision. We can let go of confusion. We can let go of not knowing, what's right to do, which choice we should make and which choice we shouldn't make. Um, it's sort of like the Two of Swords in tarot, where this means you're sort of trapped in indecision, but this means you're coming out of it and getting clarity. And consciousness, comparison, and schizophrenia, I think what this means for the collective is that in order to achieve our higher consciousness, one of the major lessons we've been learning, and one of the things we need to maybe move beyond, is comparison. Whether that was the collective comparing themselves to each other and to others, or whether it was the collective experiencing other people comparing them. So, I know a lot of the collective, the light workers and the star seeds, we're a little different than the general population, and that's pretty obvious our entire lives. And so a lot of times we're the healer in a toxic karmic family. So we are the black sheep, right? Sometimes the scapegoat, sometimes the golden child. It doesn't really matter by the time you're grown up, because however you got here, right? Whatever path brought you here to adulthood on Earth in 2024, being an Earth Angel, light worker, star seed, right? Being a healer, being a prophet, being a leader, an activist, a writer, a teacher, a motivator, an artist. I don't know if I said that. But whatever flavor of Earth Angel you are, you're here with us now. So however you got here, whatever path of life you had to get here, your path is just as unique as you are, right? And the way that you, it's like there are many paths to God, right? Or there are many paths to the highest version of you, or many paths to heaven, or many paths to a new heaven on earth, or many paths to manifesting your inner vision, or your inner beauty, or your inner gifts, or whatever. It doesn't really, it matters to you, obviously, but whatever path brings us here, we're here now. We've learned some lessons. We've grown, we've matured, we're on our way. And the comparison of the past, whether you were comparing yourself or others were comparing you, saying, oh, you're a bamboo, but you should be more like an oak. Oh, you're an oak. Why aren't you a bamboo? Stuff like that. Those are the old paradigms. That's the idea even of ostracizing someone or labeling someone as different or weird or not fitting in or being a black sheep or whatever. The idea of labeling someone like that, sort of singling them out for being different, those are old paradigms from the Matrix that are just meant to divide and conquer and disempower the most powerful, right? It is a spiritual war. There are forces that we don't see working for us and working against us every day that we're here. every day that we open our eyes into this shared experience, right, of life on earth in 2024. And I think this is the point where we're able to say, I don't care anymore. I don't care what box they tried to put me in or what they thought was best for me when I didn't think it, or blah blah blah. I know who I am. I know why I'm here. I know what I would like to manifest with God's help or the universe's help. And I'm going to step into my power. I'm going to keep walking on my path. I'm going to shake off the haters. I'm going to speak my truth. I'm going to be myself, right? Unapologetically be myself. Now, that doesn't mean that you stop other people from being themselves, right? We need to live in a safe society, which means that you get to feel safe being yourself while honoring other people's right to be their self, while respecting each other by coexisting within a society based on shared ethics and rules, like, no hate crimes and don't murder each other, stuff like that. And the way that we can do that is by setting down the old paradigms that would have said bamboo is not oak, oak's not bamboo, right? And saying we're lucky we have bamboo and oak. Totally different, both amazing. Lots of different pluses to both of them. Lots of different uses for both of them. Both valuable. Different but both valuable. And that's how humans on Earth are. That's sort of the age of Aquarius thing, is that, an Aquarius, it's like a type of magic, really. An Aquarius can be the weirdest person, just an absolute weirdo, just totally weird. But that is the person who will be able to become acquaintances with every single person they encounter in town, for the most part, like a 99% acquaintance success rate, and then be able to bring all those people that don't have very much in common, if anything, bring them all together for a cause. I mean, Leo can do something very similar, but Aquarius, I don't know, it's a little more etheric, and it's a lot more powerful. And that's the thing about the age of Aquarius, is that everyone can get along and everyone can have friendly, loving, respectful exchanges while still maintaining their individuality, maintaining their free will, maintaining their sovereignty. And that's what we want. That's the ideal, is everyone gets along, everyone is safe, everyone respects each other, everyone practices the golden rule, and we all also, at the same exact time, we get to be our full self. We get to live as ourselves and show up as ourselves and work as ourselves, our real selves, whoever that is. Okay, let's get let's get a rune. I think that's a good idea. Okay, this is sigil. It means health and wise direction. When sigil is found in an isolated position, the runecaster can be confident the person seeking advice has few health worries. Good news for the collective. However, for accuracy, it should be read in relation to the other runes near it, so we didn't pick any else. There is a warning here against overexertion, bad diet, the dangers of executive stress, and generally living on the nerves. So again, to let go of all of the middle row is basically giving us a clue to what that's what it is, blockages that the collective has had in their path along the way. So a blockage to harmony has been suppressing things. A blockage to playfulness has been not aloneness. I'm not getting aloneness, but I'm getting feeling isolated. Being isolated on purpose, or feeling isolated, or needing to isolate the self for whatever purpose, healing or introspective or whatever. Sorrow has been a blockage to the guidance, because maybe the sorrow or the grief has been getting stuck in those, not just, it's fine to feel all of the emotions and all of the different vibrations and travel up and down throughout the system, but you don't want to get stuck in the low vibrational ones, right? So maybe it's really hard not to get stuck in grief. So the guidance is pulling us out of that, and it's to go with the flow, right? Or to allow ourselves to be able to go with the flow. Past lives may have been a blockage to friendliness, meaning the relationships we had, because that's a lot of the past life stuff. It's not just about what you did or who you were, what you went through, or how you died. It's also about the relationships you had. Just like in this lifetime where you're incarnated, your relationships are at the forefront of your emotional experiences. So too they were in your past lives. So there could be baggage there, emotional, relationshipal kind of baggage. So that the past life relationships may have been a blockage, this fighting, reliving, rehashing, or even imagining discord in the past with others. So that, let that go. And the intensity of the towers was a blockage for maturity, or could have been a blockage for maturity. And comparison, either comparing self or being compared, was a blockage to our consciousness, which makes sense, because if you're caught up in asking, why am I this way and why am I not some other way, how are you letting your inner true self, as you were created, your highest version of you, how is that able to come through if you're still using your consciousness to ask questions like, why am I not as good as Sarah? Whatever. Okay, so let's go on. Okay. If living on the nerves, so the low vibrational experiences that we've been through, we need to release, and we need to move past, and we are. I mean, this is a beautiful reading. That movement has already happened. The collective has already taken those steps forward and has either released the stuff of the past, the painful experiences and the old paradigms and whatever of the past, or we're doing it right now. We're in the process of doing it. So if we are overstressed, it could lead to a loss of physical vitality and the depletion of the body's natural reserves of life force, which, obviously you can repair those things with rest and nutrition, but I mean, we all need fuel, right? If the querent gets into this position, the weakened immune system comes under attack and illness can develop. Spiritually, this rune is a symbol of the higher self, which directs the personality of the incarnated soul along its weird path in this life. The sun is both a symbol of consciousness and represents the natural cycle of birth, growth, and death. This cycle can be found in the turning of the seasons and the life of a human being from youth to maturity and then old age. Sigil teaches a seeker that they are following the spiritual path because that is their mission in this incarnation. Yep. While the higher self and soul remain detached, the lower self incarnates in a physical vehicle in order to experience through the personality chosen for this particular lifetime. That would be that unique self that you are. While most people remain blissfully unaware of the existence of the higher self, the spiritually developed person knows that their life is being guided and there is a plan to it mapped out at birth, yet with the added ingredient of free will. True. Okay, let me get you an angel number. I don't know if some people don't connect with their higher self or not. I only know my own experience, and I was raised by my higher self, so I've always had her there, at least since I was around, I don't know, 8 or something. But regardless of whether you have a relationship with your higher self or not, be open to the guidance from Spirit, from God, from the angels, from your ancestors, from your own spirit guides, from the Ascended Masters. And I mean, that can come to you in a variety of forms. It can come in signs, it can come in dreams, it can come in, psychic information, like things you hear, things you see, things you feel. It can come through books, movies, your friends, your family, your environment. There are so many ways to receive guidance from Spirit, but the key thing is to slow down and listen to the guidance that's available, right? And sort of our job is to tap in. Our job is to choose to engage with Spirit, and you don't have to. You can go through your life without ever choosing to communicate with Spirit or to tap into Spirit, or your spirit family or whatever, and you can still do your mission. You can still be a light worker. You can still follow what feels right to you and do your best and work on yourself and help others and improve who you are each day in life. Learn more, grow more, get deeper, get wiser. You can do all that stuff without ever choosing to communicate with Spirit or any version of Spirit. But I think it would be a more difficult life and a lonelier life, and I think that one of the best things that I've learned on my spiritual path is that the more support you have and the more support you feel that you have, the easier it is to get through the difficult times, And unlike Earth humans, your spirit family is always there for you whenever you need them. You just have to ask them and call on them, right? I mean, they're never going to be too busy for you. It's never going to be an inconvenient time. I mean, there are some spirit beings that might say that to you. I can't think of any names offhand, but that might say that to you. And there could be definitely some types of spirit beings that that won't be available to you 24/7, constantly. But most of your spirit family, and definitely God, definitely the archangels, Jesus, Buddha, the Ascended Masters, Mary, Kuan Yin, these beings, these people, these beings, they are available to you whenever you need them. So I would, if you want to call on them, call on them. I would explore it, whether you just think about it or whether you try it out and see how it works. But you certainly don't have to. All you have to do is follow your heart and temper it with a bit of cool logic and wisdom, and you'll probably do just fine. But on a personal level, I really think that I don't think that there is anything better than being able to communicate directly with God and to communicate directly with your spirit family and angels, and also to feel their presence around you on a regular basis. That's just a fantastic feeling. Why not explore it if you want to? But whether you do or not, there's going to be signs, there's going to be symbols, and we need to temper ourselves a little bit too, so that we can take those moments to slow down, so that we can take those moments to listen and get back in alignment if we've gotten out of alignment, and be open to guidance, right? Okay. But this is a beautiful reading. I'm really proud of the collective for how far we've come in the last few years. We were called and we answered that call, and that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to see us all maturing on our paths and working our missions one step at a time. Okay, so I'm going to get you a number. This one caught my eye, 510. Hold positive thoughts about the changes that you're divinely guided to make. Your optimism helps this transition be smooth and harmonious. And this is from Angel Numbers by Doreen Virtue. And I'm going to get a herbiary card. Got Pocket of Protection, Yarrow. Yarrow. In older times, Yarrow traveled with warriors. While her official job was staunching wounds, keeping the insides in and the outsides out, her presence brought bravery to the soldiers she kissed. Today, she has much the same task. Yarrow assists you in keeping your boundaries, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual. She creates personal pockets of protection so you can slow down, gather your strength, and find your courage. Yarrow reminds you that boundaries are not just for keeping the outside from coming in, but also for keeping yourself from leaking out, letting thought and emotions run rampant in the world. Yarrow will create a bubble of protection, a bit of sacred space within which you can regroup, regenerate, and recreate yourself. And her name is Achillea millefolium. Yarrow. Okay, I think that's it for today. Thank you for joining me for another reading, and please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend, and I'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye.